Which heroes will be added to the Overwatch 2 Stadium roster in the next season? Let's have a look. Season 20 of Overwatch 2 is just a few weeks away. I'm already working on a video on everything that we can expect for the next season, because it promises to be a pretty big one. The last one of the year, actually. And one of the things that we have to look forward to is a whole new set of heroes that will be added to Stadium. Well, if you're looking forward to that or not, will of course depend on which heroes they're going to be. Because there are a few stinkers in there. And with stinkers I mean scary heroes. Up till now, however, we have not seen any confirmation on who they're going to be adding exactly. There's a lot of rumors, but nothing was confirmed. However, that has never stopped me in the past from making a well-educated prediction. I've done these before and sometimes successfully. Now, since Season 20 is going to be a new hero season, I'm going to assume we're going to get 4 new heroes. A tank, a DPS, and a support at the start of the season, and then an extra DPS somewhere around the mid-season update, or in the mid-season update. I'm also going to add some backup names to my list because, you know, it's still Blizzard after all. They're not always that predictable. But let's set out with the tanks. I would like to see Roadhog added to Stadium. I know, it's not a popular opinion, but hear me out. I personally feel that Stadium only gets better when they start adding heroes that have a very different playstyle or a very different kit than the ones we already have, to add some diversity, but also because they will be extrapolating on those kits. And when they start extrapolating on heroes that we don't really have already in some way or form, things get really interesting. For instance, I know a lot of people want Ramatra to be added next, but in my opinion, we already have Ryan, we already have Sigma. And I'm not saying that they're the same heroes, but there are definitely similarities that make it a little less interesting. And that leave us with a few better options to be added next. And Roadhog is one of them. He is that typically slow, punchy brawler, and that would make it a lot of fun. They could do some nice things with his kit. They could enhance his inhaler, so his self-heal. A little canister that he uses to, I don't know, as they've done before, heal his whole team, or maybe buff his whole team, make him do more damage the enemy team. Or what if they make his hook a little explosive like they did in the Halloween event? In the last Halloween event that just ended a few weeks ago. If you put on Junkrat's mask as Roadhog in that game mode and you try to hook an opponent, hook would explode, and that did some extra damage. A lot of fun. Well, for me, while I was playing Roadhog, not so much for the people I was hooking. I actually expected Roadhog to already join last season because right before the season dropped, they did this reset of Roadhog. They took away his trap and they reverted him to his old kit. But no, he ended up adding Hazard instead. Okay. Another option for the tank role on the backup list is Doomfist. And for those same reasons that I would add Roadhog. He is a very different type of tank with a very different kit. But the reason that I'm not adding him to my main list is because, well, for one, I don't really like him. I don't like playing him and I don't like playing against him. And secondly, and more importantly, I think he might be a little too disruptive when they start extrapolating on his kit. He might get a little too scary. He's one of those few that I'm thinking like, how are they ever going to do that? But I might be wrong. We'll see. On the DPS role, my suspects, so to speak, are Hanzo and Echo. Let's say that Hanzo gets added at the start of the season and Echo around mid-season. Now, for Hanzo, I'm quite surprised that they haven't added him before, because he would be a good fit for Stadium. I would even have added him before Surgeon personally. And that is because Hanzo saw a huge evolution since he was released 10 years ago up till now. There's a lot of back catalog on states that he was in or abilities that he lost along the way. And those are always a good starting point when it comes to Stadium, to bring those back because people still like them even if they were not balanced or super appropriate in the context that we were playing. We've seen them do that for Hanzo with the perks that he has in the core game modes, the scatter arrow. On top of that, I think they can really expand on his quiver, add a few extra heroes with a few unique abilities. They could maybe have a look at Hawkeye in Marvel Rivals. He also uses a bow, but does things slightly different. They actually have a few smart abilities or tactics in there. And then there's Great Talon and Deadlock, also a nice example to maybe, I don't know, take a look at, a glance. When it comes to Echo, yeah, I know. We do have quite a few flying heroes already in Stadium. There's Farah. There is Juno, there is, well, basically all the heroes on the Stadium roster because at this point, any hero can fly in Stadium. However, I think Echo has kind of a her own unique niche. They could do some fun stuff with the sticky bombs. They've done that before. It was scary at times, but then there's also her copy ability. Right now, her ultimate in the core game modes is that she can copy a character, take over their abilities for a short time, and wreak havoc. But I feel there's like something in between there where she can just copy certain elements, maybe for a short time. I don't know. There's a lot of room where it doesn't need to be an ultimate exactly, but it has the kind of same tech behind it. I think there's a lot of options there. On my backup list for DPS, I actually only have one singular hero, and that's Symmetra. And that's going to be for the same reasons that I added Hanzo to the main list. Symmetra has, even more than Hanzo, known a huge evolution over the last 10 years, and she left behind some really cool abilities that she no longer has. Bringing those back would be interesting. And I'm thinking about the car wash. That was the time. And then there was the portal she could set up wherever she wanted that started in the spawn point, which she basically used to have her teammates walk off a ledge. It's funny when you think back about it. At the moment itself, it wasn't that funny. Same goes for the car wash, by the way. I still have nightmares about the car wash, where I wake up in a sweat, panicking. It's not real. She can't get to me, I think. But yeah, I know. She's scary. It's Stadium. Everybody's scary. Let's have a look at the supports. And for supports, I'm going to stick with the two heroes that I've been kind of talking about for the last 2 months, but that sadly did not get added yet. Actually, for the last season, season 19, they didn't add a single support hero. Cheeky buggers. But those are Yari and Baptiste. Yari on the main list, Baptiste as a backup. Yari is one of my favorite supports to play right now. She has quite a unique kit, and she has a lot of potential in that fast-paced mayhem that is Stadium. She could have double pylons, she could have flying pylons, she could have damaging pylons. Look, all of her abilities are empowered by the sun. Let's open the curtain and let the sunlight come in and see what we end up with. And for Baptiste, yeah, he's on my backup list, but I'm not going to be upset if they end up choosing him, because he is one of the most versatile and most dependable supports that we have on the roster right now. He has a great DPS output, a great healing output, he can mitigate damage, and he can actually amplify damage. He's basically the Swiss Army knife of the support role. Don't tell Mercy. What if they make his amplification field just as big as Symmetra's wall? At that point, every DPS in your group would be shooting through it instead of standing next to it and acting like they never saw something like that before. The stupid little Anyways, maybe we could give him a little amplification field for himself that he can use to amplify his healing. That would kind of be cool. And while we're kind of on this selfish route, what about an immortality field just for himself? Small one. Or what about an immortality field that explodes when it gets destroyed and it basically does damage to any enemy hero that is standing around? One can only dream. But those are my predictions for the Stadium roster next season. But as I said at the start, could go anywhere. It's Blizzard. Maybe they'll listen to your feedback, to your suggestions. So let me know, which heroes would you like to add to Stadium in Season 20? Let me know in the comments or come tell me during my streams over on twitch.tv/DeemziesTV. See you there. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons and YouTube members. You too can become a member over on patreon.com/theomnicpost and right here on YouTube to unlock exclusive rewards. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.